are learning and teaching are the foundation of education and training. Both learning and teaching are extremely important and generally go together. What is learning? It is very essential for the teachers to know about the concept of the term learning before engaging in the teaching process. Learning is an act of getting experience, knowledge, skills, and values by understanding what to do and how to do any task by synthesizing the different types of information perceived by us. Learning brings about change in the existing behavior of an individual. A child starts learning even in the womb of the mother, and it involves continuous training or practice to produce a permanent change in the behavior. Learning not only brings about change in the existing behavior of an individual but also enables individuals to acquire new behavior. Definition of learning. Learning is a relatively permanent change in behavioral potentiality that occurs as a result of reinforced practice. Kimball, 1961. The term learning covers every modification in behavior to meet the environmental requirements. Gardner Murphy, 1961, according to Crow and Crow, 1973. Learning is the acquisition of habits, knowledge, and attitudes. It involves new ways of doing things, and it operates in an individual's attempt to overcome obstacles or to adjust to new situations. It represents progressive change in behavior. It enables him to satisfy interests to attain goals. Types of learning. We can classify learning in different categories such as informal learning, non-formal learning, individual learning, group learning, motor learning, verbal learning, discriminational learning, cognition learning, sensory learning. Factors influencing learning. There are three factors that influence learning. These factors are psychological, individual differences of learners, teachers' enthusiasm in classroom learning, environment, and other factors. Significance of learning. Learning helps us understand the basic necessities of life. Learning helps to adapt to a new environment. Learning helps respond to danger and fear. Factors affecting learning. The learner is the key figure in any learning task. The factors that affect the learning process are as follows: learner's physical and mental health, basic potential of the learner, the level of aspiration and achievement, motivation, goals of learner, weariness and willpower. What is teaching? Teaching is an integral part of the process of education. It is a system of actions intended to induce learning. Its special function is to impart knowledge, develop understanding and skill. In teaching, an interaction occurs between the teacher and the students by which the students are diverted towards the goal. Teaching is a process that usually takes place in classroom situations. It is a formal process through which the teacher interacts with the students to give what he/she wants the learners to learn according to their learning needs. The role of the teacher in the teaching learning process can be categorized as follows. Traditional role, teacher-centered, model role, facilitator, student-centered. There has been a change from the traditional role to the modern role in the present context. Difference between teaching, training, and instruction. Teaching is a more complex in nature. It is theoretical oriented. It varies according to the learner's learning style. It is explaining how something is done. Teaching is based on individual differences in learning. It fills the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains of learning. Teaching is a methodologically planned activity in a classroom. Instruction. It is to adopt a specific method of teaching to attain the goal. It differs according to the goals and needs of the learners. It deals with varied instructional materials that enhance learning. Instruction is suggesting directions in teaching learning process. It may end in the learning process inside a classroom. Teacher-centered learning. It should be strictly followed to accomplish the particular task. Training. It is practical oriented. It is a subset of teaching. It is to make prepared for a test of skill. It is tested on skills and abilities of learner. Training is done by instruction, discipline, or drill. It imparts the hidden talent and skills of an individual. It enhances skills and abilities in a short period of time. Nature of teaching. Teaching is a process that facilitates learning. Teaching is the teaching is the specialized application of knowledge, skills, attributes designed to provide unique service to meet the educational needs of the individual and of the society. In addition to providing students with learning opportunities to meet curriculum outcomes, teaching sympathizes the development of values and guides the learners in their social relationships. Teachers employ practice that develop a positive self-concept in students. Teaching is a comprehensive process that involves a systematic approach to accomplish the goals and aims of education. It is a goal-driven process which the teacher plays an important role in the process. Phases of teaching. Different steps constituting the process of teaching are called the phases of teaching. The teaching can be divided into three phases as follows: pre-active phase of teaching, interactive phase of teaching, post-active phase of teaching. Pre-active phase of teaching. In the pre-active phase of teaching, the planning of teaching is carried over. This phase includes those activities which a teacher performs before the classroom. This phase includes planning of classroom strategies and methods to be adopted, sequencing the selected content and use of teaching aids and so on. The interactive phase of teaching. The second phase includes the execution of the plan where learning experiences are provided to students through suitable models such as classroom, laboratory, outdoors, or library. Experiences are provided to students through suitable modes such as classroom, laboratory, outdoors, and library. All those activities which are performed by a teacher after entering classes are combined together under the interactive phase of teaching. Generally, these activities are concerned with the presentation and delivery of the content in a classroom. The teacher provides learners verbal stimulation of various kinds, make an explanation, ask questions, listen to the audience response, and provide guidance. These phase include activities like sizing of the class, knowing about the various knowledge, interest, attitude. It is about the learners providing probing questions and diagnosing section and presentation of the stimuli feedback and the reinforcement. It is the stage of actual teaching. Post-active phase of teaching. In post-active phase is the phase that involves teachers' activities such as analyzing the result to determine learners, especially their problem in understanding specific areas, to reflect on teaching methods, and to decide on the necessary changes to be brought in the system in the next instructional period. In this phase, as the teaching task sums up, the teacher asks the questions from the learners verbally in the written form to measure the behavior of the pupils so that their achievements may be evaluated correctly. Levels of teaching. In the teaching learning process, the teacher can present the content at different levels. The level of teaching could be classified as memory level, understanding level, reflective level. Memory level of teaching. In this level, the emphasis is laid down on the presentation of the facts and information and explaining. Harvard is the exponent of the memory level of teaching. Understanding level of teaching. The memory level of teaching is a prerequisite for the understanding level of teaching. In understanding the level of teaching, the teacher stresses to make understanding the learner's generalization, principles and facts. Reflective level of teaching. It includes both understanding level and the memory level of teaching. A reflective level of teaching means problem-centered teaching. In this class, the classroom environment is open sufficiently. The teacher creates such a problem for the learner which always so much attention in the learners that they start solving their problems by formulating and testing their hypotheses as a result of their motivation and activeness. Various methods in teaching. We generally use two methods or approaches in teaching: teacher-centered approach, student-centered approach. Teacher-centered approach. Teachers are the main authoritative figure in this model. Students are viewed as empty vessels which primarily is to passively receive information, while lecturers indirect information with an end goal of testing and assessing. Assessment is the primary role of teachers to pass knowledge and information to their students. This model, teaching and assessment are viewed as two separate entities. Student learning is measured through score, test, assessment. Student-centered approach. While teachers are an authority figure in this model. Teachers and students play an equally active role in the learning process. The teacher's primary role is to coach and facilitate learning and overall comprehension of the material. Functions of a teacher. The teachers play a vital role in the lives of the students in their classroom. The following functions that are performed by the teacher in the classroom, school, and community are planning activities and instructions. Teachers play an important role as a planner of activities and classroom instructions. Resourcing knowledge. The most common role the teacher plays in the classroom is to teach knowledge to the learners. Creating a classroom environment. The function of a teacher in creating a positive classroom environment is very important. Supporting a students' interactions. The most important function of a teacher in both interacting with the teachers, with the learners. And mentoring. When mentoring is a way a teacher encourages students to strive to the best they can. What is the role of the teacher in the teaching learning process? Teacher as a model. Teacher serves as a role model not only when they teach students or while they perform their duties, but also when they fulfill their role as a teacher in the classroom. Teacher as a facilitator. The learners play the role of active participant in the teaching learning process, and teachers conduct classes based on experiment and practice using simulation, role play, dramatization, script story, group work, peer work, elicitation, and project work. Hence, teachers are most popularly known as facilitators. Teacher as a negotiator. One of the most important skills teachers needs for classroom management is negotiation. The teachers could develop and utilize their skill of negotiation with the students, between students with parents and with other professionals. Teacher as a co-learner. Teacher as a co-learner promotes and model digital citizenship and responsibility. Design and develop digital age learning experiences and assessments. Engage in class professional growth and leadership. Model digital age work and learning. Teacher is a reflective practitioner. Reflective teaching means looking at what you do in the classroom, thinking about why you do it, and thinking about it works as a process of self-observation and self-evaluation. Every teacher has a professional responsibility to be reflective and evaluate about their practice. Teacher is a classroom researcher, and the concept of teacher as the teacher's researcher is the idea that classroom teachers conduct their own studies to improve their teaching practice. धन्यवाद. Thank you so much. All the best.